Where we are already creating the class, right?
Yes.
Specifires. Okay. So we are already created the container class, guys. Okay, guys. ఈ పని చేసుకో ట్రాక్. Okay. So this is the Apex class. We are created the Apex class with as per class definition, which is having the properties and its action. That is called class. So that's the reason the content class, these are the three properties and its actions, different actions. Actions means it is our where you are put our logic. Okay. So in these actions we are writing our logic. Okay. This is the total class, guys. Now we need to first how to execute this. Right? If you are executing, for example, in the calculator, we are enter like 10 plus 20. We are whenever you are press the is equal to, then the program will be executed and get the output. Right? Same way, here already properties are there and actions are there. How to execute? Right? So first, if you want to execute this program, first of all, what is that? That class requires some memory, right? Then only it is storing the data and processing the data and get the result. Understand? Who will do that? Runtime engine will do that. So first of all, you need to tell them, hey runtime engine, I am using this class, please allocating the memory, right? For allocating the memory, for which class? This is the class. So first, you need to put like this. Okay, by the bracket I will explain you later. As per our knowledge, as of now, every statements end with the semicolon. Okay, so now this is the class. First, the runtime engine come like right to left. Then we require to allocate the memory to this class, right? So you need to tell them to the runtime engine, hey runtime engine, please allocating the memory to my class, which is used now. So how? Using the keyword called new. New is a keyword to allocate the class memory. Understand? So whenever it is C, this is the standard keyword, okay, reserved keyword. Whenever runtime engine able to see this keyword, oh, then it is realized I need to allocate the memory to this class. Then how much memory it is allocated in the class as per our definition? Properties are there, actions are there, but it is allocating the memory only for properties, not methods. Understand? Only properties. How many properties are there? 3. So that's the reason it is allocating memory to the only 3 properties. But why it is not allocating the memory to the methods. Why? Because if it is allocated in our class, for example, 10 methods are there. But as per ATM example, we are not using at a time 10 methods, right? 10 functions. So that's the reason first, based on your utilizing, based on your click or something, then only it is allocating the memory. So that's the reason the new keyword always allocating the memory to your, what about that? Properties. Understand? Not methods. Very, very, very important. Okay. Whenever it is allocating the memory, okay, memory is allocated. This is the total memory. Within that it is allocating the, this is the memory. Why? We are already tell them to the runtime engine using new keyword, please allocating the memory. So okay, it is allocating the memory. This is the memory. Okay, some whatever it may be, like 32 bytes or 40 bytes or 50 bytes or whatever it may be, depending on your class properties. Understand? Now this is the memory. But how do you know this? What is the memory space name? What is the memory space name? So that's the reason we need to give one name to this memory space. Okay. What is that? For example, OBJ. OBJ means object. Okay. So OBJ is this memory space name. So how do you know? You need to store that memory space into OBJ. Okay. Now OBJ is in their point of view, what about that? In the runtime engine point of view, it is a variable. Variable means when you declare any variable, you must put the data type before that variable. Why? Because see, this is the variable, this is the variable, this is the variable. Whenever you are writing any variable, you are declaring any variable, you must declare data type before that variable. So same like here also, it seems like it is C. Container length holding the 10 data. Container width holding the 6.5. Same like OBJ holding the class data, class related information, right? That means this is also one variable. Whenever you are declaring a variable, you must put the data type before the variable, right? So now this is holding the 10 number, round number. So that's the reason it is an integer, data type is. This is holding the 6.5, it is a decimal. So that's the reason data type is a decimal, right? But this is holding the container length, the container width, the container height, right? And also these functions. It's already holding but not allocating memory, right? That means it's a different data it is holding. So which type of data type we will provide? The same class. You need to tell them the same class as a data type. It is not a integer, it is not a decimal, it is not a blah blah blah. Class is a data type here. Understand? Oh, then it realized, oh, here class is a data type. So now class also itself one data type. In the reverse approach, this is the variable, this is the data type. Same like this is the variable, this is the type. If this is the class means integer also class. If this is the class means decimal also class. But these two, integer and decimal, standard classes. Understand? Standard classes. This is the custom class. Understand? So this is what we discussed in the last class. Now, while I am running this, I need to see what is OBJ holding. How to display. There is one syntax, I will explain you detail, but as of now, please use it. System.debug. Debug means display your what you want. What do you want to display? OBJ. In the OBJ, as we discussed, the OBJ holds container length, right? container length is equal to some data. What is that? How much it is? 10, 6.5 and 5 is equal to 10, right? And container width also here it is holes, and container height also it is holes. Now whenever you are displaying within that, these all the data will be available. That's what, right, we did. You'll see now I'm just executed the logs. See, this is the log. Open that. I don't want to again explain everything. See, line number 1, where is that? Line number 3 bytes, 28 bytes. See, container length 10. That address, see, 711D0. 711D0. This is the address of your object. Understand? Within the object, container length 10, container width 6.5, container height 5. See, where is the display? See, this is the display. One means our line. Debug. Just click on the debug. That means wherever you are put that system.debug statement, that one only displayed. See, if you click on the debug, it is not displayed in everything. The output, what do you require? So in here, we have added system.debug. That means one debug statement. That debug statement only displayed here. Understand? See, line number 2. This is the line number 2. What it is displayed? Debug container class. Why? OBJ is a container class. Within that, container height is equal to 5, container length is equal to 10, container width is equal to 6.5. Understand? That means the new keyword allocating the memory to the only instance, only that properties, not methods. This is the proof. Clear as of now? Clear, right? Okay. Now, what I will do? First, I require this container height. Why? Because within the OBJ, this container height is there, container length is there, container width is there. I want to get this length value. I want to display here length value. I don't require 3 values. I require only 1 value. Those 3 values, where it is there? These 3 values in the OBJ it is there, right? Now within the OBJ 3 values are there, but I don't require all the 3 values. I require only 1 value. Which value? Container length. In that case, very important. In the OBJ, container length is there, container width is there, container height is there. So though if you are display OBJ, all the 3 values are coming, right? But I don't require 3 values. I require only 1 value. Okay, that is my requirement. But I want to display only container length, not remaining 2. Then how to access only container length, not remaining? So then OBJ for access. So OBJ is a group of information. In the group of information, if you get only 1 data, then you can use dot is a operator. What is that? Dot is a access operator. What is that? Dot is a access operator. That means it is accessing from group of information to specific value. So OBJ is a group of information. What is that? OBJ holding container length, container width, container height. Within that, I need to access what? Container length. Then again container length. Dot means the runtime engine understand. Access from where? OBJ, right? So here dot is a very important. Dot is a access operator which is getting the required information. That means whatever you want, the required information from the group of data. OBJ is a group of data, right? Now the same syntax I need to display. What is that? It is a total data. Now I want to display only, what is that? Container length. If you want to get that only specific value from the group of value, then we are using dot. Dot is a access operator. So I record only container length. Clear? Now we'll see. This is, see, in the second statement we are displaying all the properties. In the third statement we are displaying only one property. Now what happened? Which line? Line number 3. Variable is not visible. Which variable? The container class, container length. That means runtime engine, variable not visible means runtime engine not able to access from the class which variable? Container length. Container length property or variable, the runtime engine unable to access. Understand? Unable to access. That is called security. That is called security. Please understand, here there is one more concept is called, I will tell you. See, this is your Salesforce org, right? This is your Salesforce org. Within that we are creating one class. Right? What is the class? This is the class we are created. So this is the Salesforce org. Within that we are creating one class, right? How to, where to allocate the memory? Where to allocate the memory? In which console we are using? Developer console, right? Dev console. That means assuming that this is our, please understand, developer console. In the Salesforce org, we are creating this class. In the developer console, we are allocating the memory like this. Please understand here. This is the memory allocation, right? Whenever you click here the button, execute button, the runtime engine, container class new, then it is going to this class and get it and allocate the memory. That means this is the different layer, this is the different layer, this is the console layer, this is the console, right? Consolator. This is the Apex class. Both are the not same area. That is the different console. This is the different class section. Understand? Both are different. But runtime engine access this class and allocate the memory. That means it is simple, guys. That is the another home. This is the other home. We don't have to go to other home and get the whatever you want until those people are, until our relations are something, right? Right? That is a private. So here developer console is different layer. This is the different layer. But whenever you run that, the runtime engine go to the class, that means this layer, and get the, pick the respective class, allocate the memory. So who will provide this access? Understand? Who will provide? See, this runtime engine get this class easily. That means this guy having to allocate the memory, pick the get the particular class and allocate the memory. That means the runtime engine able to allocate the memory. Is easily grab the apex class. That means who will provide the class access. Here runtime engine utilize this class for memory allocation. So that means someone provide the access to the runtime engine. Okay. Second one, this one. Here we are allocating the OBJ. Okay, leave it. Third statement, here, see, these two statements are executed properly. But the third statement, we are able to, runtime engine able to display the OBJ information. That means class information. But within the class, a particular property not able to access. Understand? So, the overall class, if you want to access, you can access it. But within that, if you want only particular property, I will not give the access. The system not provide the access to the runtime engine. Why? What is the difference? For example, here that access is defined by this keyword. What is that? Public. For example, public means within the Salesforce org, wherever you want, you can use that class. Understand? Public means within the Salesforce. This is the Salesforce org, right? It's the entire Salesforce. Whenever anything, any value is public, before that thing, we are added that public. That means that syntax, wherever you want, you can use it. Understand? So that's the reason class before, what is that? Public is there. So within the Salesforce, wherever you want, you can use it. So that's the reason in the developer console, it is a public. So that's the reason it is access. Who? Runtime engine get that information and display it. So that's the reason these two statements are executed. For example, we are not giving this access out of the class. That means nobody will use it. In that case, private, assuming that. Private means it's a private property. Okay. Within the home, you can utilize your what about that things. But out of the home, nobody will access your things. Understand? So private. Now see, what is that? Top level type must be public or global. Why? Because if it is private means who will allocate the memory? Someone allocate the memory, someone click the button, then only your class is executed. Understand? So that's the reason always class must be public. Now same thing guys, here see container length. We are not able to get the container length. Why? This is by default private. Access specifier. This is called access. That means we will give the access to the other people. Understand? So by default, what is that? This property, if you are not defined anything, by default it is a private. Private means within the class you can use it. Out of the class, we are not able to access that. So container length, see, container is a public. So that's the reason we are able to access here. But container length is a private. Private means nobody will access. See, that's the reason OBJ is a public. So that's the reason these two statements are executed. But we are not declaring anything. If you are not declaring anything before the, what about the properties, by default it is a private properties. Private properties not able to access other guys. So runtime engine also, while you are adding like, oh, go to OBJ, that means go to this class and get this data. Then first it is going to this class and check, what is that? Container length. Yes, container length is there. Then after that, runtime engine checking what is the access, what is the security. So we are not declaring anything means it's a private property. Private property means then runtime engine analyze, oh, I'm not able to access this property out of the class. Understand why? It is a private. So that's the reason while you are running this code, what happened? The line number 3, variable is not visible. Not visible means there is no access. Understand? Which variable? Container length. For example, if you want to access this variable must be public. Now class public, everybody use it. What is that? Container length also public. Now runtime engine check that, oh, it is a public. Public means within the Salesforce. See, these two are within the Salesforce. Within the Salesforce or wherever you want, you can use that property. Why it is a public property? Understand? Now see, got it. That is the power of access specifier. Understand? Now see. This is the class, line number 3, 10. Container length is a 10, right? It's coming. Why? It is a public property. For example, same thing. I want to display other properties. What are those? Can we access line number 4 and line number 5? Line number 4 and line number 5. Can we access here? No. Why? It is a, by default, it is a private property. We don't have any access specified, public or private. So if you are not put public means by default it is a private. Private means nobody will access. See, now we are getting 2 exceptions. See, line number 4, that means this one, container height not visible. This is the debugger. See, line number 4, visible is not visible. Which one? Container width. It is a little bit not correct actually. Line number 4 means here. Container width is not visible. Why? Container width is a private property. There is no access specifier. Now you can define public. Now container width, now it is a public property. Within the Salesforce, wherever you want, you can use it. Now see. What is that? Line number 5, variable is not visible. What is the line number 5? Container height. Now you can give the access specifier. What is that? Within the Salesforce you can use public. Now this is the class public. This property is also public. Understand? Ten 6.55. All variables are coming. Yes, guys. Shravan, still we are in the first step. Okay, you are asking the 100th step. Please wait. Okay. Okay. Now, whenever you are creating any property, okay, if that property want to use in the Salesforce environment, that property must be, what is that? Public. Understand? So class always public. Why? Runtime we need to allocate the memory. If you want to allocate the memory means out of the class we are allocating the memory. So that's the reason class always public. In the properties not always public. If you want to access any property out of the class, if you want to use any property out of the class, in that case that property must be public. Understand? For example, some cases guys, the banking information, banking related. For example, this is the username and this is the password. In that case, username and password don't expose other, what about that, classes or something. In that case, username password you must use, what about that, private. Okay, now access specifiers are two types as of now. What are the access specifiers? As we discussed, first one is public. Why we are using public? If you want to access out of the what? Class. If you want to access out of the class, then we are using public. What is that? Private. By default, if you are not specifying anything in before property, that means by default every variable class is private. So private, if you are put the private, that property is only utilized within the class only. Understand the scope of the variable. If you are put this variable as a private, for example, now I'm not declaring anything. That means this property only useful within this home. What is that? Class. Only it is useful within the class. That means in these methods or wherever you want, you can use it. But out of the class, it will not accessible. Why? Because by default, if you are not declaring anything, by default it is a private. Understand? So public means out of the class, if you want to access, you must specify the public. Within the class, that means I don't want to expose my properties to the outside of the class. In that case, you are put the private. If you are not put the private as well, it's a by default it is a private. Clear? Now there is one more guys. What is that? For example, this is the Java system. Java people required this container length in the integrations actually. In the integrations. That means Java means it is other org, not Salesforce. It is other system, right? It is other system. But these people needs, what is that? This property, which property? Container length. Assuming that means the integration. Okay, sometimes our Salesforce org will integrate with the third-party systems. Understand? In that case, integer. See, first of all, these people are come to our class, access our class first. If those people are access our class out of the Salesforce, right? Those people, Java is a not in the Salesforce. Java is a separate system. Those people required our class. That means those people access our class. Understand? That means those people access our class out of the Salesforce. Out of the Salesforce, those people need to display our data. Understand? In that case, we are using global. Global means if you are put that global, that class or that property accessible by the third parties. Third party means SAP system. SAP system wants your data or SAP system wants your class, then your class must be global. Global means if you want to access your class or properties out of the Salesforce, then we can declare a global. We can declare as a global. Please remember, for example, these guys are don't require username and passwords and everything. These guys are required only container height, assuming that. Okay, container height. So as we discussed, Java people required container height information. Okay, container height information Java people required means Java is not in the Salesforce. That means out of the Salesforce you need to give the access. In that case, what is that? Global is a access specifier. So whenever you are declared global means the scope is high. Then the class must be, what about that? Global. Understand why? Because it is access, what about the out of the Salesforce. If you want to access out of the Salesforce this property, first of all you need to access the class as well. First you are entering into the home, then only whatever you want you can take it. Understand? Here home is our class. So that's the reason this one also must be, see here, different type of global field must be declared as a global. That means whenever you are declaring any property as a global, class must be also global. Very important. Understand? Class also must be global. Now see this here. Now the third party people, Java people or SAP people, those people are able to access this class. Within the class, not all the properties. Only those people are getting container height. Why? Container height is a global property. Global means we are gave the access out of the Salesforce. Hey, Java people, you can access container height. Why? I already put the global. For example, those people are without our knowing, those people are trying to access container width. Or for example here, it is a banking application, password, actually in the real time not like this, but I will tell you. So this is the password. It's a banking application. Those people are trying to access password. Okay, our system password. Now, if those people are know container class and this variable, but those people are not able to access. Why? We are not give the access specifier. Understand? By default it is private. That means out of the class there is no access. How we are, those people are access the out of the Salesforce. Understand? So until you are declaring as a, if you want to access this value within the Salesforce, you need to declare public. Out of the Salesforce, you need to declare as a global. Clear? So global means whatever the properties or whatever the classes you need to expose out of the Salesforce org, then you need to specify the access specifier is global. If you want to access your, expose your class or properties within the Salesforce, then you need to put the access specifier as public. You don't want, by classes are not private guys, okay? If you don't want to share this data, that means expose this data to other class, then you don't want to declare anything. If you want to declare private also fine, otherwise by default it is a private. Clear? So as of now, we are using global, public, private. Global means out of the Salesforce, public means within the Salesforce, private means within the class. Understand? Now there is one we are not using. Whenever the situation is coming, I will explain. Protected. Protected means this is the class. This is the class. Within that class, I am creating one more class here. Public class some XYZ. This is the other class. So see guys, is it possible or not? I will check. This is the class. Within the class, I am creating one more class. This is the class. Within the class, I am creating one more class. It is same. So in that case, this class is called inner class. What is that? There is a situation I will tell you at the time. But one class, within the one class, we need to declare other class. That is possible. See, this is the proof. So this class is called inner class. Why? Because the class is within the another class. Understand? So this is the inner class. Now, if you want to access this class, if you want to access, it is a private, public, right? Public. If you want to access, what about that? Other people. Other people means out of the Salesforce. Now, this is the, what is that? Global. Nobody will access. Private. But see, only this, within these methods or something, you need to access this. In that case, we are using protected, not private, actually. Protected. What is that? Protected means this class you can use only within this. What about that? Class only, the parent class only. Protected, not allowed other classes. Okay, I will tell you. So this is the different situation. Okay, so protected is not allowed in the class. Different type of global field must be declared as a global. This is the global. Not declaring anything here. Product is not allowed on the class. Actually, it should. I will tell you. Simple, guys. As of now, we are not using. Protected means if you want to use that class within our class. Okay, not out of the Salesforce. In that case, we are using protected, but 99.9% we will not use. So simple. Total, global, public, private, protected. These are called, what is that? Access specifies. Access specifies. In the security, what is that? In the admin level, we are using application level security. What is that? What is that? Application level security, profiles and permissions. Data level security, OWD, sharing rules, that is called application level and data level. In the code level security, we are using these access specifiers. Understand? In the code level also data is there, right? So in that case, we are using, what is that? These 4 access specifiers. The first one is global. Global means out of the Salesforce, if you want to expose the your what about that components, then we are using global. In the integration purpose only, we are specifying the global. That means the Java people or .NET people or SAP people want to access your components. In that case, we are using global. Apart from integration, we will not use global. Okay. Second one is public. Out of, what about that? Within the Salesforce, your component you can use within the Salesforce wherever you want. In that case, we need to declare public. Private. Okay, there is no private classes are available. Please remember. But properties are, whenever you are declaring any property, by default, every property is a private. That means that property will be useful within the class only, not outside of the class. Understand? Okay? Anything is possible, guys. See, in the Salesforce, we need to connect any system. Java, .NET, Facebook, or Google, or Gmail, or whatever, whatnot. Everything is possible. Okay? Integration is an ocean. Okay? We'll see. Now, for example, the last one, protected. If you are in the inner classes, only useful within your class. In that case, we are using protected. Understand? This is the other concept. Very, 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 very helpful for our coding. Now, including this, what about that? Including this concept, while you are creating any property in our class level, for example, A is the variable, A is equal to 10. This is the variable declaration. But this data will be stored in which block? So that's the reason we are using data type, right? And also now you need to add access specifier as well. This data, where to use? whether within the class or outside the class, and within the Salesforce or out of the Salesforce. For example, this variable need to use within the Salesforce, then public. Understand? So as from now onwards, while you are declaring any variable, the variable declaration is public means public or private or global. This is called, what is that? What is the concept? Access specifiers. Access specifier. Integer. Integer is a data type. Next, A is a variable. Variable. Forget about this is the variable declaration, perfect variable declaration while you are writing any code. Whenever you are writing the code, first you need to start with the access specifier. Second, data type. Third, variable. That's it. Data, that is the different story. Understand? This is the variable declaration. Variable is a, what about that? First, access specifier, public, global, public, private, or protected, or whatever may be. Then data type, integer or string or boolean, or what about the decimal or whatever it may be. Then variable. This is the final, what about that? Variable declaration while you are writing the code. Understand how this syntax is coming? This is the total story of the variable, guys. Okay? Directly, so many people are starting like public integer A is equal 10. But how it is coming? Why we are using public? Why we are using the data type? Why we are declaring the variable? Understand? This is the knowledge. Understand? See, around like 3 days of our spending time, then only we are getting this syntax. But every people only just write that code within fraction of seconds. We don't know the background. Why we are using public? Why we are using private? Or why we are declaring the data type? Why we are declaring the variable? The backend, whatever these things are, how it is happened. Okay, you need to see only one line, guys, around like 20 characters. But in the 20 characters, if anybody asks me, we will explain around like more than 1 hour. The background, what is happening. If you have the subject, if you don't have the subject, it is just one piece of what about the text. That's it. Understand? Please learn in the backend process. Okay. Now this is the variable declaration. So now this is the class. Within the class, whenever you are, what is that? Whenever you are declaring any variable, okay, depending on access, you need to put the access specifier. Okay. My recommendation is, for example, if you don't want to give the access to the other third party or other whatever the within the org, then you must declare private. Why? Because it is readable. Okay. Oh, private. This is a private property. That means nobody will access. Something like that. So that's the reason. Don't leave it by default. Okay. So now here public, private. This is also private. Assuming. Okay. Now we are easily understand. Oh, this is outside of the class. We can use it, but within the Salesforce. Why? It's a public. This is within the class only we can use it. Why? It's a private property. Understand? So now onwards, whenever you are writing any class, by default this class is a public or global. Okay, public means outside of the class we can access it. Why? Because this is executed by our button or something. That is a different story. So that's the reason there is no private class are available. Private means nobody access it. Nobody access it, our code will not execute it. It is a nonsense, right? So that's the reason. That's the reason there is no, what about that? Private classes. Okay? Clear? How to create the class? What is the purpose of the access specifier? Now come to what about that? Methods. Now come to methods. Guys, please don't ask. See, I will explain you after the class is over. I will tell you if you have any questions, then only you can ask me. Okay? I'm not following you. You guys are following to me. I will explain you. After that, if you have any questions, please ask me. Okay? Otherwise, I am distracted. Okay? My concentration will be changed. So that's the reason. I will cover 100%. No need to worry about that. Okay? Only variable declaration I am taking in 3 days. I'm not cover. So why I'm leaving these methods and everything? Please understand. Okay? Yeah. Now, where I am? Now method. Okay? So this is the method. Now same story. This method before the public is there. Public means what is that? Out of the class, someone use it. Right, in our ATM application screen is other layer. If you click the button, this method is executed. That means out of the whatever the class we are using it. So that's the reason every method must be what? Public or global. That means Java people want this calculation, this result. Java people want this. Then it is the what? Global. What is that? Global. Understand? Now, for example, public keys we know. Okay, this method is accessible by other people within the Salesforce. Other people. Global means, for example, I am declaring this global. Then, whenever you are, I all told you, whenever you are using global, property level or method level, class must be global. Why? Because that is the higher access, right? So that's the reason here, see here, which one is a higher access? Public. Compared with the private, public is a little more access. So that's the reason class is a public. For example, I am using this as a global. That means out of the Salesforce, someone using this method, someone required our result. So whenever you are declaring this is a global, class must be global. Please remember here, within the class, which one is the highest access specifier? Highest access specifier. So as a public, so that's the reason class public. For example, here I am declaring this is a global. Now, within the class, what is the highest access specifier? Global. Then class also global. Like that you need to remember. For example, here global. Now see, this is the global. Global means you don't want to do anything. See, there is one red mark is coming. In the below, I am not saving. Automatically, the compiler checking. See, defining type of global method must be declared as a global. Defining type for global methods must be declared as a global. That means within the global only you need to declare the global methods. That means this is the class is public. That means class level we are giving the A. You can use this class within the Salesforce. But in the method, you can use this method out of the Salesforce. It is a nonsense, right? First of all, you will give the home access, then only you can give the our things or whatever maybe. You are giving the, what about that, everything in your home access, but you are locked your door, right? How will access? You can say that your friend, hey, go to my home and bring my laptop and use it. But I'm locking my door and go to somewhere. That guy come to our home. He is permission. What is the permission? Able to access the laptop. But what about that? Home is locked. That's what here. This is the home. Understand? Home is locked. It is a public. That guy is come to here, but he don't have the class access. Understand? So that's the reason while you are declaring global, the highest here, public, private, little bit private, little bit more access for public. public little bit more access is global. So that's the reason this class must be global. Understand? Now see, it is safe. Now the third party people, that means Java people, come to this. What about that? Come to this class, but he don't have access of all the methods. He is having the only this method. Why? That is a global. The remaining is not global. That means within the Salesforce you can access it, but out of the Salesforce only that method is available. Understand? See how we are restricting our properties and methods. Understand? So now onwards, whenever you are writing any method, what is that? Method name, and before that access specifier is mandatory. Understand? Okay. Now this is called return type. What is that? A return type. Why we are click the button, guys, in the ATM? For example, cash withdrawal. Why you are click the button? Process. Did you see the process, or what is the actual process? If you click the button, cash withdrawal, then what you are expecting? Money, some cash. That means if you click the button, you will get some result. What is the result? Money, right? Balance transfer, whatever the balance, mini statement. If you click the mini statement, you are expecting one result. What is that? Mini statement. Okay? That means every method, if you click, means you are expecting something. Understand? The button means internally method. If you call the method, we are expecting some result. Understand? That result, see, if you call this method, what type of result you are expecting? Understand? For example, here we are expecting this result. Right? For example, some cases, guys, some cases I'm not expecting any result. What do you want? Any result means, for example, I'm sending the email. I'm sending the email. Whenever I'm, see here, where is that? This is the email, assuming that. Please understand. Here I am using some okay. Now I am adding some subject and I am sending. Here button. Button means, as per our knowledge, it is a method. The backend one method is executed. If you click on this, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just sending the email. I'm not expecting in the result. Clear? Understand, guys? This is the button, guys. If I click that, I am sending my content to her, Mayuri. Understand? What is the content? Hi, blah, 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 something like that. Okay? I'm just sending. But I'm not expecting anything from Mayuri. Understand? So, in that case, that means I'm calling this method, I'm not expecting any result. I'm not expecting, I'm just processing something. What is the process here? Sending the email. That means my content I need to send to their box. Understand? I'm not expecting the result. So, in that case, whenever you are call any method, how to call, I will tell you. Whenever you are call any method, but you are not expecting any result, in that case, we are using void. Void means nothing. I am processing something, some logic. I am performing some logic, but I am not expecting anything. In that case, what is that? Using void. Void means nothing. I am not expecting anything. I am just processing the logic, but I am not expecting anything. That is the case, we can use void. For example, in this case, calculate container volume. That means I am expecting this result, right? Click on the button. I need to display. This is my container calculator. Length, width, height, again box length, box width, box height. Okay, so here whenever this guy is entering some data, right? If you click this button, what is the button? Calculate button. Then assuming that he is calling this method. Which method? I don't want to use local, public. Pub. Now this is the method internally we are using. Whenever this guy entering some data, right? Click this button. How to, that means call this method. Now, see, please understand here, this method is executed. Whenever this method is executed, what happened? Container length, container width, container height, container length, container width, container height. All are calculated. Why? Because it's a method, right? Why we are using the method? To perform some logic. I'm writing some logic, the result is coming. Here I am displaying the result. That means this guy, who is this guy? The contractor go to the developer console and see the, what about that? Result. But he is not a Salesforce developer, right? He is expecting the result where? Wherever he is calling, in the same way, in the same area, he is expecting the result. That means he is expecting some result in the same screen. Understand? So, void means it is not returning anything. Now, here what I will do, this system.debug is only for developer purpose, whether the result is coming or not. But that result we need to again send back to wherever he is calling. Where he is calling, in this button. In the same area, you need to set back the result. So in that case, first of all, you need to identify the result is which data type. Which data type? Decimal. Instead of void, you need to change to decimal. That means the runtime engine understand, oh, whenever I am calling this method, it returns one decimal value. It return that one decimal value. So here you need to return that value. In that case, return is a keyword. Return is a keyword. Which one you need to return? Result. What happened now? Whenever this guy is click on this button, this method is executed. It is processed. System.debug. System.debug means the developer console logs. As a developer, we are able to see the result. Then we are return. Return means wherever this method is called, in the same area the result is going. Understand? So if it is return result, this method before that you need to define the return type. What is the return type? Which type of data you are returning? Which type of data? Result. Result is a which type of data type? Decimal. So that's the reason here you need to declare decimal. Oh, whenever you are calling this method, that method return the decimal value. Understand? For example, some text value. In that case, return here, return type is a string. If it is integer, return type is a integer. Some I all told you, I don't want to return any value, then why? Understand? So now see guys, the same thing I implemented here. For example, where is that? I don't want to display all the nonsense. Now see, this is the memory is allocated, right? I don't want to this one also. Now see, I want to access, that means I want to call this method. This method also, see, this property, these three properties already there in this OBJ. Same like OBJ is a class, right? That means in this OBJ, already these methods are already there, but there is no memory. Understand? Now what I will do, we need to tell them to the runtime engine, go to the OBJ. If you want to access container length, how we are accessing? OBJ How we are accessing container length? Obj dot container length. Now I need to access what? I don't want to access these properties. I want to access this method. Now, method means access means call the method. Understand? Obj dot, if you are put the property, then property value is coming. Obj dot, put your method, that means the method is executed. Understand? Now, see here it is a void. This method only, how many methods are there? 1, 2, 3 methods are there. But I am calling only one method. That means now the runtime engine is, what is it done guys? Now the runtime engine is, what about that? Allocate the memory to the properties. We are already learned. And plus which method you are executed. Which method? This method. This method, how much memory it is occupied, that space also dynamically allocated. Understand? That means now the total memory consumption is, while you are invoking the method, if you are not invoking the method, only what are the properties are there? The sum of the total properties sum is the total memory. If you are invoking any method, total sum of the property plus, that means greater than method memory. Method memory we are unable to whatever the count. Okay, it is difficult, very difficult. So plus, so that's the reason if anybody asks me in the interview, the Google or Facebook, these people are asking, this is the syntax, how much memory it is occupied. In that case, you need to count the total, what about that? Properties count. Okay, you don't want to tell the bytes or everything. You need to tell them sum of total properties count, total properties memory count plus what about that method. That means for example here, what is that? 4, 28, 4, 36. Simple, the answer is here, one method, right? 36 greater than is the answer. 36 bytes greater than, why greater than? You are calling the method. If you are not calling the method, then what is the answer? 36 is the answer. Greater than means it is some more memory for memory method. Understand? That is the answer, guys. Now, whenever you are calling this method, that runtime engine allocating the memory to this class, this method, not other methods. Whatever I all told you, we have 10 buttons. At a time, you are calling only one button, right? Only one button you are clicking. That button only, that means that method only, memory is allocated. Understand? Now, which method memory is allocated? This method. But here, it is not returning anything. So, for example, this is our screen. Assuming that we are not working on the UI. So, this is the screen. I am calling. It is executed. But if you want to see the, open the line number 8, container volume is 325. Where is the line number 8? Here. That means line number 8 means line number 8 is a class level. We are able to see the result in the class level. But in the calculator level, once you are 10 plus 20 is equal to means we are not going to the, what about that code, right? We are not going to the hardware, right? The same still the result is coming. That means as an end user, we are not able to see the result in that class level. Understand? Where you need to see that wherever you are calling. That means as of now, here I want to see the result. I don't want to see in the line number 18. I want to see the line number 2 or line number 3. So now what I will do here, which result it is displayed? Decimal result. So now you tell them to the runtime, hey, whenever I call this method return decimal value. Where is the decimal value? Result. RETURN, return which value? Result. this result value come wherever you call. Here I am calling. That means this is getting this result value. Why? This method get the decimal value. That means whenever you are calling this total method return decimal value. Understand? Now you need to store the decimal value. How to store? This method return, right? So that's the reason decimal res is equal to. If you want to see, the runtime engine come to here. Calling. Whenever it is calling, this method return one decimal value. What is the decimal value? Some 20 or 30 or 40 or 100 or 200 or whatever. That means indirectly this method stored that value. That value you need to store here and display here. Then how to display it? Again, as of now we are not using any, what about that, screens. Now I need to display res result. See, I am calling in the here and I am displaying the result also here. I don't want to see my result here. Why? Assume that this is our screen. I am calling this is the button, this is the result. I am calling here and get the result also here. Now see. Why two debugs are coming? One is, this is for what? Class 1. This is the user debug line number 3. What is that? 325. Line number 3 means this is the one. We are calling here, we are get the result also same screen. Now the same thing you need to develop in the UI. Within the UI, instead of this I am creating the button. Instead of this I am put it some output something. Whatever the colors are something like that. So that is in the UI. We will discuss in the UI level. Okay. Now I don't require system.debug here. Why? All the result already come to my screen. See how I am reducing my code. Now again, calling the method, allocating the memory, calling the method and get the result. All are in the same screen. All are in the ATM screen like that. Understand? $325. Understand? Line number 3. Now, again, I already told you while you are writing the code, don't use unnecessary variables. Why? Because it is again allocating the memory. That means application performance will be decreased. So here see, can I reduce this code? Can I reduce this code? Anyone? This is correct, guys, but you need to check the most probability. Okay, can I reduce the code? Can I remove the variables or something like that? Is there any possibility here? No? Simple, guys. System.debug is not different. See, return result. What does result mean? This is the result. That means instead of result, return result, I need to return this total logic. Understand? Guys, bit high, but you need to learn. Why? Because once you are reliving here, that means you need to apply at least 3 years or 5 years or 8 years. Whatever I said, it is more than suitable for 6 to 8 years. Understand? See now, again come to our basics. How it is executed? Right to left. That means what is the right? Container height. What is the container height? 5 into container width 6.5. 5 into 6.5. Something is coming. Into container length. Something is coming. The total result it is written. The execution also. What about it? Suitable, right? Right to left. Right, first of all, it is calculating the formula, then return. So here we are not using any other variable. That means overall 28 bytes is, it is a decimal, right? Almost 28 bytes is reduced, right? So that means it is more accurate program. Why? Because 28 bytes is not a small memory, right? So this is the code, guys. Now see. See guys, every time we are executing this, right? You don't want to execute, come open this and execute something. You don't want to do. Simple. Last time we are executing something, right? Whatever you are executing last time, the same thing if you want to execute, just execute last. That means the same code automatically execute. See, result is coming. Understand? So this is the total of how to allocate the memory, how to call the method, how to return the result. Understand? Any questions, guys? I am not getting suggestions while typing Apex code. Like if I type system import suggestion, debug is not displaying. System, I type system import suggestion, debug is not displayed. I didn't get Venkatesh Kullu. I'm not getting suggestions. Okay, suggestions means, yeah, that is depending on your catch and everything, guys. See, for example, the guy is asking here, see, this is a, what about the suggestion means intent. So we have a lot. See, guys, I will tell you. For example, system. If I click dot, these are the so many whatever these are called methods. I will tell you what it is automatically coming, right? For example, here also. Here also. Sometimes it is not coming. Why we are using result instead of void? Shivam, that's what I told you around like last 15 minutes. Thanks, Akila. See, guys, system dot, if you type dot, guys, some people say system dot, if you see, for example, system after like this, and again come back and click on that. Sometimes that auto-populated methods are not available because the intent is not recognized, guys. In that case, again come back and again type that. Automatically it should work. Okay? Automatically it should work. If it is not work, then reload your page and open it. Okay? It should work. Yeah, Shivam. Void means, I told you, void means the result is, see, why we are calling the method. Why we are calling any method means, whatever you expecting some result. Why you are going to the ATM. Why you are using the ATM. What about the calculator. The calculator, if you whatever enter like 10 plus 20, whenever you click that is equal to, in the backend some method is executed. Backend means, method means some class is executed within the method is executed. 10 plus 20, the result is here. Now the result is, you need to see in your screen, right? That means you don't want to see your result in our method. Wherever you are calling, in that area you need to see. That's the reason you need to use, whenever you are calling any method, you can use instead of void, you can use return type. That means, whenever you are calling this method, I need to get some result. That result you need to display wherever you want. As of now, we are displaying in the developer console, guys. In the later, whenever you are going to the UI, that means UI screens, we are just create the button. If you click the button, the method is executed, some result is coming. The same result we are displaying in the page level. In that case, you can use, what about that? Return type. If you are not using return type in your screen, the result is not coming. Why? It is not written anything. Understand? When I am writing the code showing error variable does not exist, please resolve it. Ramesh, you can try. Okay, if a variable is not exist, that means you can try. I already told you so many times. Showing errors variable does not exist. Errors variable means you can try. See, this is the class. I will show you, I will send some whatever the code. I will share some code, guys. That is the source code. Using that code, you can create your classes and everything. If you are getting any whatever problem, that means here you are mostly probably you are getting that a variable does not exist. Where in the entire Salesforce maximum 40 to 50 errors, guys, plus maximum 60 to 70 errors plus exceptions. As a good programmer, you need to learn the errors. You need to learn the whatever exceptions. For example, here see, whenever I am writing here, see, I am missing this unexpected token. This is one type of error. Unexpected token, whenever, so it is common for everyone. While you are missing any syntax, you need to put this error in our Excel sheet, in your Excel sheet. Unexpected, that means some syntax is missing. Whenever in your code, while you are writing any code, this is the first error. Whenever you are getting this, oh, that means I am missing something. You can check the syntax. For example, this is fine, but here private, I am using obj dot this one. This is the second error. Variable is not visible. Variable is not visible wherever you are seeing in your entire code. That means that variable don't have the access. That means what is the issue? Access specifier issue. That is subject. You need to remember, understand, the error is common for everyone. But as a learner, you need to remember, oh, whenever this type of error is coming, that means I am not able to access that variable. That means the problem is variable access. That means instead of private or something, you need to put some other global or public. Understand? Yep. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.